Colorado's 24-hour news channel is KCNC-TV, Denver.
This is the Emmy Award-winning News 4 Late Edition with Bob Palmer, Bill Stewart, Larry Green, and Les Shapiro.
Good evening. Here's what's happening. Doctors tonight are describing a 12-year-old Denver boy as very lucky. Police say the youngster was shot in the chest with a .22 caliber bullet, but he's going to be okay. News 4's Jim Benneman is live at Denver General Hospital, where the boy was taken earlier tonight. And Jim, what's his condition right now?
Well, Bob, at this hour, the boy is listed in fair condition. Neighbors identify him as 12-year-old Stephen Avila. The trouble began when Stephen visited a friend just down the block in the 1500 block of South Cuevas in Denver. Police say his friend owns a .22 caliber rifle. They say the friend's 9-year-old sister picked up the weapon.
It was placed up against the neighborhood boy's chest, and she didn't believe the weapon was loaded, and he said jokingly, "Shoot me," and she pulled the trigger, and the weapon discharged and went through his chest.
Doctors say the bullet pierced Stephen's breastbone but was deflected away from vital organs by his rib cage. He'll be kept overnight for observation. Police also saying tonight that a grandparent was babysitting at the home where this all happened tonight. They say neglect charges could be filed against the parents who apparently bought that boy the weapon, the gun, a couple of years ago as a gift. But as one detective told News 4 tonight in his words, even if no charges are filed, it just isn't too smart to give children a loaded .22. Bob, back to you.
All right, Jim, a familiar story. Thank you very much. Jim Benneman reporting live from Denver General.
A Halloween kidnapping that started in the nation's capital came to an end this evening in Colorado. Kidnappers plucked 3-year-old Marquita Butler from a Washington, D.C. street as she trick-or-treated. Today, FBI agents arrested the suspected kidnapper, Rita Peaks, at an Aurora dry cleaning store. The FBI says an hour later, an unidentified man dropped the little girl off at the dry cleaners and left. Authorities say the child is okay, much to the relief of the little girl's mother.
I'm glad that this is all over with. I can't wait to see my daughter to tell her I love her.
When are you going?
Tomorrow. I leave out at 6 o'clock.
Authorities say they were led to the suspected kidnapper by people who saw the story on TV and read about it in the paper. And police tonight have identified the body of a man found murdered in Arapahoe County. A teenager found the body of Gary Donald Johnson last night in a ditch near the Arapahoe Meadows subdivision. He'd been shot in the back of the head, execution style. The investigation continues.
About 30 hunters in Eagle County are having a rough night tonight, stranded in the mountains by an avalanche. They are trapped about 13 miles north of Avon in the White River National Forest. Eagle County sheriffs say they'll go in and rescue them tomorrow morning. No one is in any immediate danger. One of the hunters is Larimer County Deputy Sheriff Al Ohms, whose wife was surprised by the news.
They're good hunters. They know safety, and I wasn't worried at all, and I didn't think nothing of this until I got word that they were stranded there. And then gets to you a little bit.
Ohm's pickup truck won't be rescued, though. It's under tons of snow tonight, and it's going to be spring before anyone is able to get to it. In news of the world tonight, 174 former Iraqi hostages are free, 3 of them Americans. They arrived in Frankfurt, Germany this afternoon, escorted by the man who arranged their release, former West German Chancellor Willy Brandt. Weeping family members embraced their loved ones and yelled, "Thank you, Mr. Brandt."
3 Americans among the hostages released are in a Wiesbaden hospital tonight, and they're not in very good shape. One of them, a 66-year-old California man, reportedly lost 33 pounds during his captivity. There's no word on when the hostages might return to the U.S. Meanwhile, Secretary of State James Baker is in London tonight trying to get more support for a UN resolution that would authorize military action against Iraq. Baker met with Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, who said London and Washington are absolutely together on the issue.
You've seen demonstrations where protesters throw themselves in front of automobiles. We'll be back to show you what can happen when the driver doesn't stop.
It's hard to believe that fish like these are in a Colorado lake. We'll tell you which lake.
Dying to find out. Warmer weather over the weekend, but 90-mile-an-hour winds are blowing in that warmer weather.
Big night for Walter Davis, but is it enough? We'll let you know.
Take the time to taste the Welch's. Taste how sweet the fruit can be.
Welch's Totally Fruit?
Mm-hmm. It's a new spreadable fruit, made only with fruit.
Just fruit? They don't add sugar?
Nope. All the sweetness comes totally from the fruit.
I think I have time for a little more.
Take the time to taste the Welch's.
New Welch's Totally.
Back when I was a boy, Mom made a country fried steak that was so good we couldn't wait to sit down to supper. I always thought we should have one just like it at Wendy's.
Introducing Wendy's 99-cent country fried steak. 100% beef, lightly breaded and cooked golden brown. It's new on the 99-cent super value menu.
You can take the boy out of the country, but he still has to eat.
Try the new 99-cent country fried steak, only on Wendy's super value menu.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. Come on, Donnie.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Leo.
And we're here to do a Chevy commercial for, you know, Chevy.
Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the...
Not his Ford.
It wouldn't have rhymed.
And anyway, Chevy's the great American car.
Hear that, Miss Ryacoka? Anyone else getting tired of this guy?
Show of hands. Okay, let's show some Chevys now.
We're out of time.
Really?
Out of time.
All right, well, here's the logo. Be about right here. And just check out on the streets. There's plenty of Chevys out there.
3 fabulous days of gourmet food, holiday gifts, and fun for the whole family. Denver's Holiday Food and Gift Festival, this Friday through Sunday at Corrigan Hall. You'll love it.
Serious indictments tonight against Minnesota Vikings place kicker Donald Igwebuike. He's charged with scheming to smuggle heroin. The NFL star is accused of conspiring to smuggle an estimated $1 million worth of heroin into the U.S. from his native Nigeria. Igwebuike is out on bail, but was suspended for Sunday's game. If convicted, the kicker faces up to 120 years in jail and a $6 million fine.
A 2-year-old South Dakota boy is alive tonight because of a dramatic and daring rescue. The child was trapped in the back seat of his mother's car after it plunged off a bridge. His mother couldn't get to him. A man in a pickup saw the struggle and dived into the water.
And I pulled him out, squeezed him a couple times, and he seemed like he started coughing, and then I made a run for the truck to take him to the doctor or the hospital to get him warm because I knew he was awful cold.
I thought I was going to lose him. I thought I had lost him. I thought he was dead in the car for sure. I thought he had drowned.
Little Tyler Lawson and his mother are shaken, but otherwise okay. In Youngstown, Ohio, a sign of just how intense the abortion battle has become. Now, the video that you're going to see is disturbing, but we'll tell you beforehand that no one was injured. Anti-abortion protesters tried to block a pickup truck from entering an abortion clinic, and the driver drove right over them. While the pictures here are gruesome, rest assured that none of the protesters was seriously hurt.
Beware, don't try this Volvo crash test at home, a test designed by hot rod enthusiasts to see just how strong Volvos really are. It started with a recent Volvo ad showing monster trucks crashing a line of cars, leaving the Volvo relatively intact. The Texas Attorney General challenged the ad, then Volvo pulled it after learning that their car had been reinforced. Today, 13,000-pound trucks rolled over a line of cars, a Volvo right in the middle, to test the company's claim. The Volvo didn't fare very well, but some drivers said it was tougher than expected. And another car company is having trouble tonight. Mazda is voluntarily recalling one of its models. Starting November 16th, the 1990 RX-7 convertible sports car is being recalled. These are cars produced between November 1st, 1989 and July 2nd, 1990. All 2,700 cars are being recalled because it's believed that 3 of them have defective airbag inflators.
Can you imagine catching a fish in Colorado 5 feet long, a superfish? It may not be just a dream. Environmental specialist Paul Day tells us about a new giant living in Granby Reservoir.
Big water, in the case of Granby Reservoir, means big fish.
Okay, try her again.
Researchers are using nets to capture alive some of the largest and oldest trout in the state. They're called Mackinaw or lake trout. and are capable of living up to 30 years. Macks have been reproducing naturally here since they were first stocked in the early 1960s, but they're slow growing. Fishermen learn it takes patience to catch a trophy lake trout.
We'll take this one in and...
Biologist Jake Bennett wants to accelerate their growth. It's spawning season now, and Bennett is working with mature Macks, 3 feet long. Careful to avoid their teeth, he collects eggs from the females and sperm from the males. The young are to be incubated in a state fish hatchery. The fingerling are graded for size, and for 2 years now, only the fastest growing 20% have been stocked back in Granby Reservoir. Jake Bennett says he's raising a class of superfish.
So we can probably get a fish up to catchable size to the angler in maybe 3 years, where a normal lot of fish might take 5 years.
Superfish will hopefully provide more sport. And because they eat at the same rate as wild fish but grow faster, they should make better use of the food supply in Granby Reservoir. Paul Day, environmental specialist, News 4.
The Mackinac Limited Granby is one fish, either for the frying pan or the trophy wall. The in-between Macks, the little Macks between only 22 and 34 inches, have to be returned to the lake.
They're called living wills, but they're used only when death is near. Just ahead, part 2 of Dr. Dave's report on how to create a living will while you can. Stay with us.
Our biggest sale day of the year. May D&F's 15-hour sale. It's the sale you've been waiting for. Find 25 to 50% savings on entire stock Mrs. suits and coats. All wool coordinates from Alfred Denner and Russ. Entire stock women's boots and shoes. All men's suits and Aero dress shirts. Entire stock totes, gifts for the family. Save on Crupps, J.P. Stevens, and Sony. Make no payments till February. The 15-hour sale, Saturday, 8 a.m. at May D&F.
Tomorrow, beginning at 8 a.m., furniture history will be made. Set your alarms early for Saturday, Super Saturday at Weberg Furniture. It's a one-day, $1 million price reduction on thousands and thousands of furniture items from the nation's leading manufacturers. And this day, Saturday, Super Saturday, buy with absolutely no payments and no interest for 3 months. Tomorrow, beginning at 8 a.m., Super Saturday at Weberg Furniture.
Channel 4 and Taco Bell present Dan and Les.
So what would you like to talk about tonight, Dan?
Well, how about the football cups that are available free at Taco Bell when you purchase a 32-ounce drink? All 4 cups feature a great Broncos player and yours truly.
Tell me more, please.
Taco Bell is going to donate 5 cents for every cup sold to the Broncos Youth Foundation. So please, pick up your cup today.
And don't forget, watch the Dan Reeves Show.
Brought to you by Taco Bell and Channel 4.
Thanks, Denver. Last month, Chevron Chevrolet was the #1 volume Chevy dealer in Colorado. To stay #1, we priced every car and truck to sell out fast. Right now, you can buy the gas-saving Geo Metro for only $59.99 or $91 down and $91 a month for the first year. Come see for yourself why we're selling more Chevys and Geos than anyone. Buy a new Chevy truck for only $69.99. It's an all-out sellout, so hurry and buy your new car or truck the Superstore way. Chevron Chevrolet Geo, I-25 and the Boulder exit, Colorado's #1 volume dealer.
Tonight, we're continuing our look into living wills. Dr. Dave Knight is here with advice for anyone who is considering one. Dave?
Bob, often when I talk with my patients, a big fear is a concern that they're not going to be able to die with dignity. And with today's technology, that's certainly a realistic concern for many of us. One way to deal with that issue may be to have a living will. So tonight, we'll tell you where you can get one and how to fill it out. First, what's in a living will? A typical Colorado living will contains several sections. The first section says, in essence, that if you have a terminal illness and you are unable to communicate your wishes, that you would like life-supporting measures stopped after a certain period of time, and you can fill in that amount of time. The next section allows you to state whether or not you wish to be artificially fed, and for how long, and that's even if no other therapies are being given. Your dated signature on the document should be witnessed by at least 2 people. Under Colorado law, those witnesses cannot be someone who is an heir to your estate or someone who would otherwise have a financial stake in your death. Your physician cannot be a witness, and neither can an employee or patient in a healthcare facility where you might be staying. You might also want to have your completed will notarized. However, this step is not necessary to make the will legal and valid. I'd also recommend that you give copies of your will to members of your family, to your friends, and to your physician. I'd avoid putting it in a safe deposit box or some other place that's hard to get to. You may even want to attach a small note to your driver's license that says you have a living will and states where it can be found. Now, it's important to realize that you may want something more than a simple living will. In Colorado, a living will only applies to situations where a terminal illness is involved. For instance, it wouldn't apply if you would have a stroke and lapse into a coma in which you could live for years and still be medically stable. So to cover possibilities like this, you may want to talk to your attorney and your doctor and make up a second document, one you can attach to your living will. This one's called a medical directive. In the directive, you can put in writing what you would or would not want done in case of non-terminal illness. It's very important to be specific. Saying you don't want any heroic measures done isn't enough. Instead, write down when things like CPR or respirators would be appropriate. You may also want to address the issues of pain medications, antibiotics, and diagnostic testing. Now, obviously, you can't cover every conceivable situation with a directive, but my advice is to think of things that, to you, are dreadful and you wouldn't want done. And last, in 1991, Colorado lawmakers will be working to give you one more option, a designated power of attorney for health care. With this, you will be able to designate one person who would know your philosophy of health care and see that your wishes are carried out. Now, let's tell you where you can get a free copy of a Colorado living will. Now, I'll read this address twice so you can take your time. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to University Hospital, care of Living Wills, Box A092, 4200 East 9th Avenue, Denver, Colorado, 80262. One more time, University Hospital, care of Living Wills, Box A092, 4200 East 9th Avenue, Denver, Colorado, 80262. And Bob, one other situation where a living will not apply is if you would call 911, the paramedics. They often cannot make the determination of what is a terminal state, and they need to do their job.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
A little later, Greg Moody reviews Reversal of Fortune. And up next, it's Back to the Future. Larry Green explains in just a minute.
Chili's has discovered how to make an onion blossom. Remember, we are professionals. Don't try this at home. Chili's new Awesome Blossom. A huge onion battered flower-looking appetizer thing. Only at Chili's. What do you think the odds are of finding a lost gold mine? Or your cash machine going berserk? Or the IRS making a mistake in your favor? Well, what do you think the odds are of winning up to $25,000 playing the lottery's new Colorado cash game? Looks like those are the best odds you have of getting hit with a little extra cash.
What you're about to see can only happen once. Ford Motor Company has just lowered our cost on new 1990 Fords by over $300,000. Save up to $3,000 on new cars. Save up to $2,000 on new vans. Or get financing as low as 3%. We're passing the savings on to you. Real savings, real value on the best-selling cars and trucks in America. Don't wait. Hurry to O'Mara in North Glen and save thousands on your new Ford.
Coming up later on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Johnny learns about boxer George Foreman's secret weapon.
And I've developed a new punch called the old middle-aged senior citizen syrup sandwich up your nose punch.
Plus, a very stimulating conversation with actress Joanna Kearns.
This is the most double entendre audience I have ever seen.
And singer James Ingram. Then on late night, it's Saturday Night Live's Michael Myers and the Go-Go's.
Not so loud, kids. You're going to wake someone in programming.
Johnny and Dave, later.
News 4 Weather is brought to you by Federal Express.
So the Back to the Future forecast means back to summer.
Back to summer. And how? Looks like temperatures will be in the 70s the next couple of days. The thing we'll have to put up with, though, is wind. And already this evening, the wind is blowing quite strong. We've got a call this afternoon from Peaceful Valley saying the wind gust was up to 80 miles per hour. And within the last half hour, Paul Raymer called us from Wonderview. He had a gust to 92 miles per hour. 92. It'll be windy for a while, but most of that will stay to the north of the Denver metro area and all the way up into southern Wyoming, where they've had quite a bit of wind today. Let's get on with it. Let's take a look outside, see what's happening. Here are current statistics. 50 degrees. It's not falling off very quickly. Wind is holding the temperature up there. High today of 60, overnight low 28. Relative humidity at 28%. Southeast wind at 5 miles per hour. We have a rising barometer. It's at 30.10 inches. On we go. Here are temperatures around the region according to weather watchers. Not only was it windy, it was cool at a lot of locations up in the higher elevations today. 30s and 40s up there. Out on the plains today, temperatures were in the 50s and 60s. Statewide temperatures. Let's start with the west, where they had mostly 50s. Not a big warm-up going on for them yet. Higher elevations, 40s and 50s, but with the wind out on the plains today, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Pueblo, 64. They're the hot spot in the state today. In Silverthorne, early this morning dropped to 1 degree below zero. Nobody else in the state came even close to that one. Here's a 3D satellite picture for you tonight. Beautiful shot of the clouds just kind of spread out over the state. A little over the mountains tonight, and there have been some snowflakes and flurries here and there, but nothing serious up there. And that system off to the north of us that's probably not going to make it into the state of Colorado. Here's the bigger satellite picture for you. The clouds over Colorado and then the system swinging over to the north, and the system in the southeast now moving out into the Atlantic, but a few isolated tornadoes. Georgia and northern Florida today. Tornado watch is just now ending in that area, but rain all the way up into the northeast. That's the case for tomorrow. Snow and some rain associated with this little system. Trough of low pressure to the east, and with high pressure to the west, that adds up to wind once again around here and to the northwest. It looks like they're going to have a cool, wet weekend, at least starting it off from Washington into the panhandle or the chimney of Idaho and into western sections of Montana. And down in the southwest, 70s and 80s forecast for tomorrow. Southern section looking for 70s over into Florida as well. 40s to the northeast with the clouds and the snow. And around here, we're going to warm up, be back into the 70s in eastern Colorado. And again, the wind is going to help all of that. 57, 67 western valleys, 47, 55 with the high wind watch in effect for the foothills. That's north of Denver all the way up into Wyoming tonight. Out on the plains tomorrow, expecting 62 to 72. Nighttime lows are even mild for this time of the year. Take a look at a great 5-day forecast for Denver. Tonight, we're looking for windy and rather mild, low of about 36 degrees. Tomorrow, windy and warmer, 70 and 33 for the extremes. And looking ahead, what do you think? Wow. 5, 6 stars on that one? Yeah. Looking for temperatures in the low to mid-70s through the 5-day period. Looks pretty good. Nighttime lows will be above freezing.
Looks great.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks, Larry. Bob?
Tonight with Moody at the Movies, attempted murder among the mega rich. Our critic at large, Greg Moody, joins us with a review of Reversal of Fortune.
Yeah, this is really a good one. Better than you'd expect.
You said it was good, yeah.
And it's got everything in it. The Klaus von Bülow case makes a great story. In fact, it makes an even better movie.
Reversal of Fortune is not so much a whodunit as it is a bitter comic drama. A class struggle between the super-rich Klaus von Bülow and the legal professor who took his appeal, Alan Dershowitz.
You're a very strange man. You have no idea.
Von Bülow's in it to save his skin after being convicted of attempting to murder his wife, Sunny, while Dershowitz takes it on almost as a legal game with a moral prize at the end.
I'm not a hired gun. I gotta feel there's some moral or constitutional issue at stake.
Ron Silver and Glenn Close are very good, but Jeremy Irons is tremendous as Von Bülow, oozing a snaky charm that constantly keeps you off balance.
I'm not afraid of it. Let the chips fall where they may. That's what an innocent man would say. I know.
This is a movie with a cold eye toward its characters and a streak of bitter humor a mile wide. It occasionally falters, but it keeps you fascinated. Reversal of Fortune, rated R, gets a green light.
Nobody in this picture is very lovable or sympathetic. It's a harsh, harsh view of high society, but it really draws you in, and it lets you draw your own conclusions. You don't know if, in fact, he did it.
Glenn Close always gives me the willies.
Oh, she's a great actress. Tremendous in this one, too.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
Sure.
Coming up, the Friday Night Sports with Peter Rogat. Nuggets versus the Sonics, and once again, close, but no cigar. Stay with us.
After millions and millions of hours in the air, after 17 years of staying up all night, every night, so that your packages can be delivered overnight to any address in America, Federal Express has become the first service company ever to win the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. It's the highest honor in American business. And just how did we do this? By being absolutely, positively the best in the business.
We could spend 30 seconds talking about the 1991 Pontiac Grand Am priced at just $94.24. But we'll let the Grand Am speak for itself. 1991 Pontiac Grand Am at $94.24. Plus, qualified first-time new car buyers can get an additional $600 cash back for the ride of your life.
See your local Colorado Pontiac dealer.
Back when I was a boy, Mom made a country fried steak that was so good we couldn't wait to sit down to supper. I always thought we should have one just like it at Wendy's.
Introducing Wendy's 99-cent country fried steak. 100% beef, lightly breaded and cooked golden brown. It's new on the 99-cent super value menu.
You can take the boy out of the country, but he still has to eat.
Try the new 99-cent country fried steak, only on Wendy's super value menu.
Bronco fans, get front row seats and see the Dan Reed Show live and in person. All you have to do is write Dan Reed Show tickets. P.O. Box 5012, Denver, Colorado 80217.
News 4 Sports is brought to you by KBCO.
Les Shapiro's off, and Peter Rogat's with us tonight. For a team that hasn't won, the Nuggets are playing some pretty good basketball.
You're going to have some good numbers.
Here and there, yeah.
Yeah, here at home, as was the case last Friday and tonight as well, Bob, but it wasn't enough. The Nuggets slipped to 0-5. Tonight they lost to Seattle at McNichols, 135-129. Seattle jumped out to a first-period lead and made the Nuggets play catch-up all night long. They trailed by 9 after 3 periods, and in a torrid fourth quarter, where Walter Davis had 20 points and 41 for the night. That basket made it brought him back to within 12, and then that three-pointer makes it 129-126. Davis was a man on fire, but the Sonics' fine rookie, the number 2 pick in the draft, Gary Payton, hit the jumper, and Dana Barrows hit 3 free throws. That made it 135-129. That was all she wrote for the Nuggets, who now drop to 0-5. They're on the road tomorrow night at Phoenix and Tuesday night at Portland. In Dallas, the Mavs won their 4th straight, 111-99. Fat didn't play. He'll get his right knee scoped in his 3 to 6 weeks. The big news, though, Roy Tarpley went down with a knee injury. He'll be out 2 weeks. It happened late in the first period. Tarpley on the breakaway gets the basket. Now watch how he collapses. Falls to the floor. What happened was his kneecap slipped out of place. We're told it was popped back in the locker room. Obviously, he will not be playing Tuesday in Orlando. He only misses 2 weeks, though. Could have been worse. Around the NBA, Jordan had 41. Chicago beats the Celts in Boston. Indiana over Cleveland. Minnesota hammers Charlotte. Milwaukee over Washington. Atlanta's beating Golden State in the 3rd. The Lakers look like they'll win their 1st as they're beating Sacramento in the 4th. And in a rematch of the NBA Finals of last year, Portland is doing it to Detroit in the 4th quarter. Football, a win tomorrow will sew up the Big 8 title for Colorado and send them to the Orange Bowl New Year's Day. Standing in the way, Oklahoma State, which comes into Folsom with a 3-6 record, just 1-4 in the Big 8. Talking live with us on News 4 at 5, Buffs head coach Bill McCartney said his squad has come through adversity successfully.
We're in position to have another great year, and we don't want to trip up now. We want to take advantage of the situation that we're in and make the most of it.
Oklahoma State's suspension prevents the game from being televised live. You can see it on tape delay, probably a 10:35 kickoff tomorrow night on Channel 31, and then here on 4 Sunday morning at 10. Les Shapiro and Dave Logan call the action. CSU is home tomorrow, looking to solidify its position as a contender for the Freedom Bowl. The Rams take on Tulsa. Air Force is on the road. The Falcons take on Army. An Air Force win will clinch the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. Second halves haven't been a source of too many Broncos highlights. Sunday, they begin the second half of the season in San Diego to play the 4-5 Chargers. Steve Sewell went on injured reserve today. He'll miss 4 games with a dislocated shoulder. Tight end Chris Verhulst was activated off the injured list. John Elway will start. The turf toe and strained arch he suffered in Minnesota are improved enough to warrant the start. Elway we'll need the mobility because the Chargers have an excellent pass rush. High school football, 36 playoff games this weekend, everyone in action. The excitement begins right now. Marcia Neville starts us off with Boulder against Arvada West.
Spotted in the crowd, Boulder High's #1 fan, CU coach Bill McCartney. Unfortunately, he watched son Mark end his prep career. Early second half here, Arvada West faking the Panthers defense. As they go for Wildcats quarterback Brian Stott, Mark Bilby is free to bounce out of the crowd and race all alone 75 yards for the touchdown. Arvada West advances 14-7.
Plenty of top 10 teams in action tonight, including #1 Mullen, playing on their home field against 5th-ranked Westminster.
Mullen scoring first behind the running and receiving abilities of Emmett Mosley. Ryan Clement goes to him deep in the end zone for a 7-0 lead, and the Mustangs win big, 51-20. One of the most intriguing first-round matchups, #4 Overland challenging #3 Horizon. Hawks Jake Logue here to Chuck Federico to help set up their first fourth-quarter score. And Brian Polizzi finishes it off in from the 3 for a 21-14 Horizon lead. They win it by just a touchdown, 28-21. Marcia Neville, News 4 Sports.
Other playoff action tonight, Bear Creek is a winner over Rocky Mountain. Cherry Creek likewise over Fort Collins. 5A ball, Kennedy shuts out Hinckley. Niwot by 13 over Liberty. And also DU Hockey loses to Northern Michigan 9-2. And one thing we want to get out, Bob, midget football, they changed the stadium just late this afternoon for tomorrow in Jeffco. It moves from Reed Street to Lakewood Junior High tomorrow morning.
Okay, Oklahoma State's going to be dangerous tomorrow.
Nothing to lose, you're right.
CU, a little overconfident.
Going to have to mind their P's and Q's.
Thank you, Peter.
Still to come, a look ahead to a very special day for Colorado veterans tomorrow.
Today's high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Have your car serviced with Castrol GTX at your local Midas Muffler.
For naming the Mazda MPV best in class, we'd like to thank Car and Driver. For ranking it the most trouble-free minivan, J.D. Power & Associates. For naming it one of the top 10 import buys, Motor Trend. And for making the Mazda MPV the best-selling import minivan, we'd like to thank the Abbotts, the Ackermans, the Adisheks, the Ackermans.
Mazda, it just feels right.
The Altons, the Ammermans, the...
3 fabulous days of gourmet food, holiday gifts, and fun. It's Denver's Holiday Food and Gift Festival at Kurgan Hall this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. An enchanting holiday wonderland filled with over 400 displays to shop and sample. Unique holiday gifts, decorations, and gourmet food sampling. Plus, fun and entertainment for the whole family. Celebrate the opening of the holiday season and shop early at the Holiday Food and Gift Festival, Friday through Sunday at Kurgan Hall. You'll love it.
At KBCO, you asked us for longer music sets and fewer interruptions.
Ready to go for a walk?
So now our music sets are longer than ever.
We'll go right after this song.
She said she was pretending.
Ready to go walk?
Listen to KBCO 97.3 FM, now with longer music sets than ever.
The monument to Colorado's veterans is finally finished, and it's going to be dedicated tomorrow during Veterans Day activities. The 54-foot-high spire cost $1.6 million. $600,000 of those dollars were donated by Coloradans. Denver's Veterans Day Parade begins tomorrow at 10 o'clock in front of the City and County Building, winds through the downtown area, and then at 12:30, the tribute to Veterans Monument will be dedicated by Governor Romer, and the monument will be lit for the first time tomorrow night at 5:30.
You know, it was a real struggle to get that monument built. It's good to see it finally
finished. Bob Hope came to Denver and helped us finance that thing.
Good news.
It's nice to have you with us on News 4.
This has been a presentation of News 4, proud recipient of the Emmy Award for Best Newscast for the 4th consecutive year.